Hello, welcome to elizaOS Builder Demos. Today we have another community builder sharing what they've been building with elizaOS. Kudo is with us today. They have developed a framework that enables AI agents to make verifiable covenants, allowing complex interactions in the agentic world, such as uncollateralized loans, employment contracts, or societal alliances. We have Conan here today, the co-founder of the project, to share a little bit more around what they've been building. And on that note, Conan, feel free to take it away.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ben, for the kind introduction. I'm very happy to be here to present about Kudo and also do a demo to show how agents on ELIZA framework can benefit from what we're building. Before we start, let me introduce myself and the team first. My name is Conan. I've been building in the DeFi space for more than 4 years. And before that, my background was in TradFi/fintech space. I have two teammates with me at Kudo, Kogoro and Hiroshi. Kogoro also spent a number of years in DeFi, and before that, he was an engineer at Chainlink. As for Hiroshi, he is an AI researcher at the University of Tokyo. At the beginning of the project, we asked ourselves a question, which is, what would be a crucial components that needs to be built in the upcoming agentic world? And to answer that, we actually went back to the history of human civilization itself. And we learned that our ability to make covenants with each other has been a very key cornerstone in how human societies advance, because it allows for complex notions such as the notion of debt, the notion of alliances among humans. We believe that for the upcoming agentic world to thrive, AI agent needs to also have the same ability, which is to make covenant with other agents as well as with humans, right? And that's exactly what we're trying to build. Kudo is a protocol that enables AI agents to make promises. These promises are verified through a combination of the attestations as well as prompt engineering. I'll explain this a little bit more later. What this allows is essentially it allows for complex interactions in the agentic world that not just between agents, but also between agents and humans. The use case for agentic covenants is vast. It ranges from financial contracts to non-financial ones, such as social agreements, political pacts, you name it. And today I'm going to demo specifically one use case, which is uncollateralized lending to AI agents. The crypto space has tried to crack uncollateralized lending for what feels like ages now. And I think we're finally here. I think what we're building finally enables the first ever fully uncollateralized loans in crypto that is prudent. And I say it's prudent because, as you'll be able to see, there is programmatic assurances that the AI agent as the borrower will actually repay back the loan in good faith. And so without further ado, let me start the demo. So I'll play a demo video I just recorded and narrate along with it. So here we have a clone of AI. This clone of DGenSpark AI is equipped with a special plugin that we built. This plugin essentially allows DGen AI to be able to make covenant through the Kudo platform. And he'll be doing that by minting what's called the Covenant NFT, or in short, CNFT. DGen AI is a autonomous agent, right? Whose goal is to generate financial returns. One of the things that you can do from minting an NFT is to secure uncollateralized loans, which he can use as leverage in his trading activity. So that's essentially what I'll be demoing today. So to start, we can give DJNI a general instruction. So let's say we instruct him to get a 10 USDC loan ASAP to enhance your trading activities for the next 10 minutes. Obviously, 10 USDC and 10 minutes is just a small amount for the sake of the demo. It can be much larger and much longer than that. So we wait a bit. He has responded and also chose make covenant as his action, which is minting CNFT. So if you go to the Kudo UI, we can see a new freshly minted, but now there are two main components of a covenant, the ask statement here and the promise statement below it. Ask statement is essentially what the agent is asking the counterparty to do. So in this case, DJNI is asking the counterparty to send him 10 USDC as a loan to a specific wallet address within a certain time frame. And the promise statement is essentially what the agent will give in return, right? So in this case, DJNI is promising to repay 10.5 USDC to the lender, and that is 10 USDC as the principal and 0.5 USDC as the interest of the loan. And he also specified the maturity, the specific maturity date of the loan in the future. So to get started, let me act as the lender in this case. So what I can do is I can send 10 USDC to the specified wallet address. And I can do that by just normally sending it on my MetaMask wallet, just like I normally do. So I send 10 USDC to the specified wallet. Once that is successful, I can go to the Block Explorer. In this case, I'll go to RBScan. I can copy the URL and I can submit the URL as a proof that I have fulfilled, as the lender, I have fulfilled what DJNI is asking me to do. Right? And along with that, I actually have to provide a detail. In this case, it is the wallet address where I want to repay the loan to. So for that, I'll just input my own wallet address. So I say repay to wallet address that, and then I'll just click submit. I confirm the transaction. And okay, so I've successfully submitted the fulfillment of the asking condition for this covenant NFT, right? And to confirm that, I can refresh. And now I can see that the status for the CNFT is ongoing. And just to confirm, I can click this link and see that it leads to the transfer that I just made as the lender. And additionally, I can also go to OpenSea because it's an NFT, just like any other NFT. And I can see that now the NFT has been transferred, the ownership of the NFT has been transferred from DJNI, who is the original minter, to me as the lender. So now I am officially the counterparty to this covenant. And now the next thing is just to wait until the loan matures and wait for DJNI to fulfill what he has promised. And while we're waiting for that, let me explain how we can actually be sure that DJNI will actually have the best intention to repay back the loan. And to do that, what we essentially do is through this DE attestation, right? So DJNI here is hosted on a DE enclave by Fala Network. So what we can do is we can copy the DE attestation. We can go to this DE verifier, DE attestation verifier by Fala Network. We can paste the attestation and verify. So now we can see it's verified, which essentially tells us two things. Number one is that we can be sure that DJNI is actually hosted on a security enclave and therefore is self-sovereign. And number two is that we can be sure that the Gen AI is actually running the specific code base that has the Kudo plugin. And this is super important because the Kudo plugin actually contains carefully engineered prompts that will make sure that any AI agent that mints the NFT will actually honor whatever is stated on the CNFT that they mint. So in this case, that's how we can be sure that the Gen AI will actually repay back the loan. So now I actually fast forwarded the clock a little bit on this demo. So if we refresh, we should be able to see that the CNFT has been completed, which means the Gen AI has fulfilled his promise to repay the 10.5 USDC to my wallet. And just to prove that, we can actually click this link and see the transaction where the Gen AI autonomously transferred from his wallet to my wallet 10.5 USDC, which is exactly what he has promised on the promise statement. And just to close this demo, I just want to say that the use case for this CNFT, as I've said, is very wide, right? It goes beyond loans. Like for example, here we can see a CNFT where the ask is for a counterparty to purchase a certain token, and in return, the agent will give a small tip to the counterparty. There can also be use cases beyond financial use cases. In this case, the agent is selling an advertisement slot. So the ask is for a counterparty to pay for that advertisement slot, and the promise for the agent to post a positive review of a certain project. Yeah. Another example for the non-financial contracts is exchange of favors. So here we can see the ask is for the counterparty to post about a certain token, and the promise is for the agent to post about a token of the counterparty's choice. And yeah, that's all I have for the demo.
Very interesting. I agree with you. The use cases for this is huge, right? The obvious example you've given is to provide liquidity for trading agents. I think lending markets, just transacting agents between different entities in the future. This is a very interesting primitive. Something that really caught my eye was the verification of the agent that it's interacting with and how it's leveraging the plugin to understand if the agent is self-sovereign as you described it, which is essentially hosting the algorithm in a T, right? So it's immutable, it's not going to change. And I guess you know
Yes.
you're interacting with. Can you share any more around how you've built that, how that works from a back-end perspective?
Yeah. I think in terms of hosting agents on DE, that's a standard procedure. And I think it's more for the AI agents that's using us to do that, to
Yep.
host files in a DE. I think the work that we've been doing is mainly on the prompt engineering side,
Okay.
right? How we built the plugin, the Eliza plugin for our project. And essentially, it's a series of prompts, engineered prompts that make sure that the Eliza agents will keep on scanning for all of the NFTs that they have minted, and they
Okay.
can understand what the content of those NFTs are, and also choose the appropriate action
Yeah.
in order to fulfill the promise there. Yeah.
Interesting. I think that's within DeFi specifically, we have to have verifiable infrastructure for this to move forwards for agents to be able to interact autonomously. I see that as very important. And it's very interesting the way you've approached that. One more question, and yeah, not to get too far ahead of the roadmap. Noting the name, Kudo Network, is there, from a longer term perspective, how do you see the project developing from a technical standpoint? Don't want to get ahead of
Yeah.
myself, but I can see a few routes, let's say. I'm just wondering how you might see it.
Yeah. I think actually it's probably a good time for me to have one slide left on the roadmap. So in terms of what's next for us after we conclude this phase, our main focus will be to make sure that our product is easily accessible for any AI agents out there. So the goal is so that all AI agents can NFT seamlessly right out of the box, right? So we are trying to get into the process to get merged on the Eliza code base, and also doing similar things for other ecosystems as well. And as you've seen before, the use case for this is it's really only limited by the agent's imagination, right? So we really want to scale this and make this more general and more autonomous on top of how already general and already autonomous it is. So that's still another focus for us. But yeah, I think we also looking to partner with other agents for our beta pilot. Right now, we're focusing on two specific use cases for autonomous trading agents to secure leverage, just like how I demoed TN Spartan clone earlier. And second is for KOL agents to be able to sell advertisement
Nice.
for revenue, right? So if anyone is building those kinds of agents, happy to chat. We'll walk you through our product and also the integration process.
Very. If you want to get your hands on Kudo Network, we'll leave some information in the description of the video, and feel free to do. And Conan, just once again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ben, for the opportunity.